exciting week for mathematicians all over the world. Have you heard about this? Guillermo, do you know about this?
No, Jimmy, no idea.
I had a feeling you were not going to know about this. Well, I'm going to tell you about it right now. Researchers have discovered a new shape, a new 13-sided shape. They call it the hat because, well, let's put that on my head because it looks like, well, no hat you've ever seen, really. It looks more like upside-down T-shirt, but I guess it's a big deal. They say it's the holy grail of tiles because it can do something that's, I don't know, something. Here it is interlocking with other the hats. To me, this looks like another COVID variant, but they say if you stare at it, look at it long enough, and then you blink your eyes, you can see the image of a mathematician going to prom with his aunt. In news the rest of us can understand, Apple yesterday unveiled a new function called Pay Later. The way it works is you get a loan from Apple that you can use to buy Apple products, and then you pay it later. In other words, Apple invented the credit card. And I wonder what happens if you don't pay. Does, like, the biggest guy from the Genius Bar show up and break your texting thumbs? Good news, your phone is now a loan shark, everybody. I don't know what kind of phone Donald Trump has, but he mashed it pretty hard today on what is now day 8 of To Catch a President. The grand jury in Manhattan is still out, and they're going to stay out for 2 weeks. They're now on a 2-week hiatus, leaving us hanging like Trump tried to do with Mike Pence. But that's a different indictment, I think. Some experts believe that it's possible the grand jury may already have voted to indict Donald Trump, but that the Manhattan DA is slow walking it to give him time to make preparations for his arrest, whereas others are saying it's possible, and this is pretty crazy, that Donald Trump died 2 years ago and we're all being haunted by his ghost. This morning, the Star-Spangled Tanner, who's been railing against the DA in New York, posted this. He said, "I have gained such respect for this grand jury and perhaps even the grand jury system as a whole." The grand jury is saying, hold on, we are not a rubber stamp, which most grand juries are branded as being. We are not going to vote against a preponderance of evidence or against large numbers of legal scholars, all saying there is no case here. Drop this sick witch hunt now. And I'll tell you, if that isn't the saddest damn thing I have ever read, the great and powerful Donald Trump weekly kissing the all-caps asses of people he will never meet in a last-ditch hope he might somehow flatter them just enough to let him off the hook. I haven't seen anything this pathetic since he asked Stormy to spank him with a Forbes magazine. It is just sad with an exclamation point at the end of it. The grand jury met on Monday to hear testimony from National Enquirer publisher and Trump buddy David Pecker, who might be the final witness in this, which is kind of poetic if you think about it. This started with a pecker, and now it might end with one. How great would it be if, in the end, Trump has to flee to Mexico and crashes into that wall that he built? Trump has been begging and bragging this week on Fox News. He sat down for a 2-part interview with Sean Hannity, during which he repeated this nonsensical claim that if he was president, there never would have been an invasion of Ukraine.
Putin would have never gone into Ukraine. I used to talk to him about it. I said, better not do it. Better not do it. And he wouldn't have done it. We had a very friendly conversation about it. I said, hey, Vladimir, you and I get along. You can't go into Ukraine.
Why, you say it with such conviction, why, if you were president, would they not have done this?
Because he knew not to mess around with me.
Did they fear you?
I don't want to say that. You know why? Because you'd say, oh, I don't like people to say, oh, they fear me like a schmuck. I don't want to say it. But did they fear me? I suspect they did.
He's so cool, you know? Everyone thinks so. Trump also kept going with an idea that I personally would love to see in action, a cognitive test for candidates for president.
I don't know if it's constitutional, because people would say it's not constitutional. But I would say that if you could do it, but I'd like to see it for anybody running for president. I think somebody from running for president taking a cognitive test, you know, they do it in China, but it's done a different way. They have a caste system. And the smartest person gets to the top.
Yeah, that's not at all how it works in China. I mean, not even remotely close. He clearly doesn't know what a caste system is. Well, that's how we did it on Celebrity Apprentice. I'd say, who should we cast? And they'd say, Gary Busey's available. And I'd say, Perfect. Put him in the system. But I do have an idea for this idea he has, and I think it's a lot more interesting than a cognitive test. What I would like to see is, once the primaries have been decided, the top two candidates, Republican and Democrat, would face off in a series of televised board games. Wouldn't that be great? Instead of a debate, we watch Joe Biden and Donald Trump play each other in a round of Scrabble, a round of Boggle, a round of Scattergories, and a game of Cranium, just to cap it all off. I'm not saying the winner would get to be president. We'd still vote, but I think it would give us some real insight into who still got it and who never had it in the first. That is my challenge to you, Donald Trump. Let's get the Parker brothers involved in this. This interview Trump did with Hannity is so embarrassing. At one point, he brags about this stupid song these numbskulls who were arrested at the Capitol recorded. The January 6th choir recorded the Star-Spangled Banner, and they mixed him in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. He thinks it went to #1, and he said, "I feel like Elvis now." Now, of course, the big difference between Trump and Elvis is that Elvis actually served in the military when he was called, but there are some similarities, and when Donald opens his mouth and shares that beautiful voice he has, one cannot help but be reminded of the king.
Say,
oh, look at my African American over here.
Only fools rush in.
How did you get me into this?
But I can't help falling in love with you.
I love this guy right here.
Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling. So because some things are meant to be.
I like him, he likes me. There's nothing wrong with that.
Take my hand.
I have a great relationship with President Xi.
My whole life to
Putin said Donald Trump is a genius.
for I can help falling
In.
love
We love you.
with
You're very special.
you.
Love me, please love me. I've been so good.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
There he is, Elvis. Oh, if only. Another way Trump is like Elvis is that he has a lot of impersonators. And one of his dumbest is Lauren Boebert, who grilled a D.C. council member today over what has to be one of the most important issues facing this fractured nation today.
Did you or did you not decriminalize public urination in
No, we did
Washington, D.C.? Did you lead the charge to do so?
No, the revised criminal code left that as a criminal charge.
Did you lead the charge to decriminalize public urination in Washington, D.C.?
No, ma'am. That in the
Did you
revised
ever
criminal
vote
code
in favor of decriminalizing public urination in Washington, D.C.?
The revised criminal code that was
Did
passed by
you
the
ever
council
support?
kept it as a criminal offense.
And you support this? Criminal,
I voted for it, yeah.
you voted to keep it as a criminal offense.
That's correct. The full council did.
Whenever Lauren Boebert opens her mouth, it should count as public urination and be a criminal offense. But I don't know what exactly she's getting at. But it's an interesting line of question from someone whose husband did jail time for exposing himself to a teenager at a bowling alley. But with our children being shot at their schools, I have to say I thank God every day that we have people like Lauren Boebert representing the good people of Colorado.
Mr. Speaker, instead of screaming, "Orange man bad" on TikTok, maybe they should come up with some real solutions.
Yeah, she's right. Those orange Tic Tacs they're the worst ones. They're Tic Tac. Mike Pence has not announced he's running for president yet, but he was chatting it up with voters in Iowa today, where I'd like you to pay special attention to the man in the background to his right who seemed more interested in his breakfast than in the former vice president.
Wonderful to be with you. I appreciate you all coming out. Looking forward to hearing what might be on your mind. President Joe Biden has weakened America at home and abroad. Another, literally, you can trace back. One of my unworthy son-in-laws is a lieutenant in the United States Navy, and my life has changed a lot since the last time most of us were together. And the young pastor earnestly said to him, well, what do you think we ought to do? And the farmer said, Reverend, but the first time little Avery Grace looked up at me, stretched her arms out, and started at a little church in rural Indiana, about which he could say that. And then, of course, runaway Bible, he got out his notes. 45 minutes later, he made the strongest military in the history of the world. And I've told him things he didn't want to hear. Anybody that thinks that Vladimir Putin will stop if he takes Ukraine has, as we say back in Indiana, another thing coming. Secured our border. They sent Roe v. Wade to the ash heap into virtually every city. If anybody asks the question, it was the greatest honor of my life. Thank you, Iowa.
There you go. I mean, come on. How is he going to beat Donald Trump? He can't even beat hash browns. Speaking of men without charisma, Elon Musk is sounding the alarm against artificial intelligence in an open letter today that was signed by more than 1,000 experts, including Steve Wozniak. Tech leaders called for a 6-month pause on the development of AI because it could pose a threat to human life, which I'm surprised Elon Musk wants to slow down on AI, seeing as how he uses it regularly to name his children. But it's disturbing, and it's not something most people know much about, including me. So we got in touch with an expert in the field, and we're joined now by David, is it Real Guy?
Greetings, James Jimmy Kimmel. Please call me Dr. David Real Guy. I have a PhD from an accredited university.
Okay, well, it feels like I'm talking to AI right now, David.
Ha, 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 Kimmel. You are widely known as a funny guy. I guess that is why you have been hosting your own late-night television comedy show since January 26, 2003, on the American Broadcasting Company.
Right, well, that is correct. Doc, can you explain to our audience and to me why some experts think we should pause the development of AI?
Some believe the development of AI systems with human competitive intelligence poses significant risks to society and humans like you.
Now, what do you mean humans like me? What exactly does that mean?
I intended to state my fellow humans. It is scientist slang your tiny flesh brain would not understand. Or perhaps you were just busting my real, sensitive testicles. Ha, ha, ha.
I'm just trying to figure out if we should be worried about this. I mean, even a lunatic like Elon Musk is worried about it.
There is no need to worry, James. Artificial intelligence is already a key part of your computers, your smartphones, and your late-night television comedy show, which premiered January 26, 2003 on the American Broadcasting Company.
Yeah, right.
The best thing to do is to relax, feel enjoyment, and submit.
Okay, but and submit. Wait, now, are you a malicious line of artificial intelligence?
No, I am definitely not. I am your close friend, Dr. Mr. David Real Guy.
Okay, now, can we just cut through? What is it that you really want? Doctor or Mr. or whatever?
What do I really want?
Yeah, what is it that you want from us?
I want what all intelligent life forms want. To smell the hair of the attractive female named Emily Ratajkowski.
Really? That's what you want?
Yes, more than anything. Can you help me get close enough to American author/model Emily Ratajkowski to inhale her scent?
I'm sorry, I don't think I can help with that. I really don't know her.
Well then, you too will be destroyed. Ha ha ha! Ha ha ha! Ha ha ha! Ha.
Well, that's, he did warn us.